because he's been out of the tournament scene for such a long time, maybe he's like, he's not in tune with the metagame, perhaps.
Yeah, it seemed like a much older type of control warrior in a way. Well, I say much older, not that much older, but it's definitely not post GVG-ish in a way. Like it's been changed quite a bit since.
Yeah, that's like telling your twin, "Hey, I'm much older than you. I was born like 2 minutes before you."
2 minutes before you.
All right, Acolyte goes down. It can contest the 2/2, but unfortunately for Massan, a True Silver is available to just kill that right off.
Yep.
And we do see,
at least a little bit of value, but
we do indeed see the Knife Juggler coming into Powder's hand, so it is a faster Paladin deck.
yeah, it could be a little bit of a hybrid between faster and slower. He might not be running Zombie Chows, for instance, but definitely the Muster for Battle. I mean, it feels to me as though the Muster for Battle Quartermaster threat is a little bit like it's a little akin to the Druid, Force of Nature combo. You have to play around it, even though they might not have it, and just the fact that they might play it forces you to play differently around it.
We see a key card in Powder's hand right now, Harrison Jones, which he actually kept off the mulligan. Now, there's a bit of a debate as to how you're supposed to use Harrison Jones against Paladin. Do you wait for the Muster for Battle to get 3 draws? Can you use it on just a 4/1 Paladin True Silver champion? Or do you even perhaps try to get the full Ashbringer value?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. It depends on how the games pan out. As long as he has options, I think there's no need to hurry. Right? Like, he can just wait it out a little bit. But it really depends on what he draws and if he can contest the board for long enough. Because, oh wow, he does run Zombie Chows. Okay. So it is exactly the list that you didn't mention. Or at least something very similar to it.
Okay, Massan's gonna go for the Death Spite play. I would have considered the Shield Maiden or the Sylvanas a bit more, perhaps.
Yeah. Instead of developing the weapon right now, put down more board instead.
But you know what? The Shield Maiden just dies to the True Silver and
the 1/1, yes.
So it's fair enough. Okay, Harrison Jones comes down. The weapon does belong in a museum.
Zombie Chow going to give full health value here back to Massan. Well, nearly full, 4 out of 5. Like, a lot of the time, it just ends up not doing anything because you're full of armor and you just get overhealed. But in this specific case, it's actually going to be useful when it does die. It's a minor fact, but...
Yeah, because you've seen that... You've seen the Zombie Chow, right? So you can kind of assume it's a bit of a faster Paladin. Because you've seen the Zombie Chow, I feel like you can feel a bit better about using Execute on this Harrison Jones, but no, he decided to just go for Dr. Boom. Surprisingly, Dr. Boom isn't amazing in this scenario.
It's one of the scenarios where I feel it's a little less impressive than it might have been otherwise.
Yeah. There were perhaps other plays available. Surprise, surprise.
Is this the first time a turn 7 has been hit and Dr. Boom is not optimal?
Yeah. It's not the best case scenario, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think Powder is actually going to use his face to... No, he's...
What, do you just
gonna
consecrate this? Or... Yeah.
If you consecrate, then you definitely attack face first. Yeah, here we go.
Consecration lets him play his hero power afterwards. Right, Zombie Chow dies, he takes 3. But he still has the initiative, right? He can kill anything with 5 health. Sludge Belcher, Sylvanas, Shield Maiden, anything that falls down from the warrior side that has 5 health is just going to blow up. So there are nice plays here for Massan. He's playing very quickly.
Now, Powder, we see in his hand, there's a Wild Pyromancer and there's 2 Senjins. Those are all more of the defensive cards and not really something you want to use against Warrior. Instead of Senjins, you definitely want the Piloted Shredders against Warrior just because it's more offensive. It has more attacking power and it's more sticky on the field to just keep hitting Warrior. Meanwhile, the Wild Pyromancer, it helps clear the field, but I guess you can use it as an equality activator. But it doesn't feel like there's full value gain from running Wild Pyromancer. So everything just overall, this Paladin feels more of like an anti-aggro deck, and not
definitely,
and not like an anti-warrior deck that Life Coach's Paladin was.
Life Coach's Paladin had a pretty lopsided matchup, I believe, against a deck like just about any control warrior. And in this specific case, the deck is most definitely tailored around something like a Hunter, for instance. If Massan had been running Hunter, maybe Powder would have been prepared with this one.
Yeah, Powder. If he wins this match and he goes on to the next match, it might be a scenario where banning Hunter might not be the best decision.
Yeah, well, he didn't. I mean, Massan does not run Hunter, so that's fine for him. It's just Massan has banned Hunter because he knows that he's not prepared for it, or at least didn't want to bother preparing for it.
You are not prepared. That's what Illidan says.
Yeah, I remember that from the Warcraft 3. Was it?
It's either the Warcraft 3 or the Hearthstone.
The Illidan Black Hunt. I remember the black. There was the Black Temple back the raid. He definitely said that during the raid. But all right. So if Tyrion comes out here,
that's a good one.
Yeah, but Brawl.
Is Brawl what you want? I think.
I don't think it is.
Sylvanas might be better.
Here. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. You don't have a silence. So yeah, you don't have a silence, so you force your opponent to either have a silence or maybe muster for battle. Paladin's like a class that is actually not as weak to Sylvanas as other classes, just because they can muster for battle and they can force your opponent to maybe steal a 1/1.
Yeah, definitely. It's just I mean, it's basically like playing Sylvanas against Zeus sometimes.
Did you just see that?
What happened?
It just said that Powder has gone offline.
Oh, come on now. Is Massan just...
I mean, the thing is, this play is obvious. You just attack face, and he's not doing that right now, so we might be running into more internet issues coming from Powder.
That is 2 people so far that have had internet issues in this entire tournament. That's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, with this particular game, like, there's no way for you to tell who's winning right now. I mean, I would just give it 50. Like, I could give someone an advantage, but just the slightest advantage. This game is really it's anyone's game right now.
Yeah, I feel like Warrior has a slight edge, but things could happen that would make the entire outcome much different. And apparently, yeah, it said officially on Massan's side that the opponent left, which means either there was a disconnect or there was an Alt F4. I doubt the Alt F4, but yeah, that's quite a problem. Alright, well, as a side note, I guess in the meantime, we have raised another $100-ish since I last made the comment about having to break the 2K. So thanks for that, guys. Really appreciate it. Every bit helps. You don't have to donate huge amounts for the cause Child's Play Foundation. Now, I mean, if we don't get any news from Powder, will this just be another... I mean, like, Neria's scenario yesterday was a little less heart-wrenching, I guess, because his status on the board was indicative of him losing soon. Whereas in this case, it's much less one-sided.
Yeah, I guess Massan still has to win the game. Okay, I guess not. His opponent just leaves.
What happened?
Okay. So yeah, you've raised like $900 so far. That's you originally were putting a goal of $1,000. Come on, Noxious.
Well, within the next the immediate future. Of course, if we'd hit